Hi, I'm Benjamin Temple, and I'm here at the River City Model Railroad Club, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. So on the track, I have the DD40AX, or the Centennial locomotive. That's an Athearn model. I also have the Scale Trains gas turbine super power big blow, or the GTEL 8500 engine, and I also have Broadway Limits Union Pacific Big Boy 4019, my favorite engine. So I have 50 high side gondola cars here, and if you want, you can count them, but there are 50 cars here, and they're all on the track, all set up to go. Part of them are in this yard, and then there's so many in this club layout that they don't have the space, so they are out of the yard and beyond. And then we have on the tail end the caboose, so technically it makes 51 cars. Now, I wanted to pull them up this 4.5% grade, and I know, I've had this discussion with some other milers on Facebook, but I'm not here to argue. Facts are facts. Yes, newer ES locomotives and dash AC locomotives have more tractive effort, but horsepower-wise, they do not have more horsepower than the Union Pacific, Centennial, or the EMD DDA40X engine. However you want to classify it, that's what it comes down to. And I'm doing this video because I want Athearn or somebody, preferably Broadway, being they seem to listen to their customers. And yes, I am saying that because I get the one guy, he says, well, tractive effort, if you take the real thing and you scale it down, it has. Well, okay, that may be that equivalently scaled down, but, model cars are not the same weight as real life scaled down cars. They're probably heavier. And the reasoning for that, you could not build them and expect them without touching them and breaking them. So we also have to be realistic on another aspect. We've got to think about that when we build a locomotive, and even though we're building a prototype, we have to sometimes build it slightly more than prototype to get the prototype performance out of an engine. And I'm all about performance, and I'm not here to put Athearn down. I understand that they do some really hard work, but I forget the old saying, but as they say, sometimes they don't get it done. You've got to go the extra mile, or you've got to make things happen. And I'm hoping this video will inspire some modeling company to build the thing I want, because I'm about performance. And again, I'm not being mean here, but you got to be real and true with yourself, or you're feeding yourself a line of fiction that isn't going to happen. And I want an engine that performance is the thing, and I'm a scientist, plain and simple, and I'm looking for an engine that can do what I want. And so we're going to test all three of these engines in this order. It should really do the big boy. But I'm going to do the Centennial locomotive, then we're going to go big boy second, and then we're going to go the Scale Train Big Blow. And I'm also doing this for Scale Trains. Yes, Shane, you, and in the past you kind of blew me off, and I get that if it can pull 155 cars, then that's probably more than necessary on most people's layouts. But the real thing, I think, is 735 cars. Of course, it's something like it's scaled, or 35 mile an hour or something. I forget what the book says, but anyhow, you get the point. No train's ever going to be that long in general, although that may change one day. But we're looking for real live performance, and we want something that can duplicate the real thing. And it'd be nice if the big blow also, I don't know if that's physically possible when you think about that power, but I do believe that if Athearn would come in instead of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Athearn here, or whoever might know, but I've taken this apart. It looks like it's aluminum and not cast steel. And I know when you take the same engine of Broadway Limit and Athearn's EMD SD 40-2 locomotives side by side, the Broadway will outpull the Athearn. There's no doubt, no comparison. I've already done that. And the reasoning for that, and you put them on the scale, the Broadway weighs more. When you look at it, the metal is different. The frame is a bit bulkier and heavier. And I think Athearn is cutting some corners here. And I don't know the reasoning, maybe the price, but I feel like if you'd build the frame a little heavier, you'd fill that fuel tank full of lead. There's enough weight, you wouldn't necessarily have to make a die-cast shell to get the performance. But that's just nice thoughts without actually doing it. But I know there's room. Now, some people would say there's not, but you know, I see space in that fuel tank. I don't know if there's enough room myself, but if you'd start back at the basics and pour it where you'd have liquid steel that you could put in, there's room to build that. So anyhow, enough with that. Here we go for the performance and sound on. Well, okay. Huh. Oh, that's why. Wrong key. All right. Okay. So here we go. Now we're going to take it kind of slow because we are in a yard. And I don't want a derailment to happen. And we just about had a derailment happen, all because I didn't pay attention and make sure that I had that switch thrown. But I've got these other threats, or other switches, turnouts, should I say, really, set. Tried to say two words there at once. But here we go. Now, as you can see, this Centennial is pulling this train through that switch and around this curve. And we'll see how that goes. I know for sure it won't pull about 70 cars around this curve. It'll stall out, but it seems to be doing all right at the moment, so that's good news. Now we got to get ahead of this train. Oh boy. Yep, we already have a problem. Make sure that we have the switches thrown, which we do not. And this car is in the way, and that switch is not aligned. Neither is this one, but that one is. And we are all set. We're running the bell because we're in a yard, so I figured it might as well. We need to get ahead of this train, make sure that we're on course for track, and we are not. So we got to throw. Uh-oh. Look, we've had a problem already. So we've got that all aligned. We're going to have to stop this train. We lost some of our cars, unfortunately. And I didn't blow my horn either. I mean, yeah, my horn at the crossing. But I guess I had my bell. So. I don't know what caused these cars to come off, but and because we stopped, we lost our train in this. I probably should have went on the outer line. We've not had that trouble, but what's been done has been done, as I guess as they say. Ooh. We've got to keep an eye up. That's what I thought was going to have happen, because we took off and there's a magnet in that siding that sounds like we might have a car or two off. I don't know. Just have to, I guess, wait and see. But once we get out here on the open main line through the yard and around this curve, things ought to go a little better. I guess I can turn off the bell. So here we're going down the 4% grade. Or it is somewhat, you can't tell, but there is a downhill here. And we need to get ahead of the train again because switch is not thrown, but it is now. I just can't get over this bridge. Can't wait to get my own layout and get this. I've got this bridge at my parents' house in a shed, same type. It's a really nice bridge. Or at least I think so, in construction-wise. First car seems to be troublesome. I don't remember having this much trouble, but seems the weight of the car pushed itself ahead, causing that coupler to come up over and causing that problem. Now, I have a feeling that it's not going to make it, but I hope that it will make it. We're going to throw it. We're going to be on the wrong side of the track as club rules, but it tends to run better. I don't know what the deal is, the power, so I need the power to be consistent so our cars stay on the track and don't come uncoupled and we don't have any problems. And hey, guess what? So the locomotive is going up the hill at this point. It doesn't really start to grind until it makes this curve right here. Maybe it will make it. I wouldn't bet on it though. Oh yeah, yep. She's gonna stall out. Alright, see you, Athearn? It's stalled. And we didn't have no hiccups. But we're going to give it one more try. We're going to go back down the hill. We're going to power this thing up a little better. See if we can get, by just running it at normal without trying to run super fast, we did not make that hill. It stalled. And you'll see the big boy will take this train all by itself. And I'm pretty sure that GTEL 8500 will also take this all by itself. It won't need any help from anything else. And then up we have a car off the track. All right. I mean, I know this is not exactly prototype. No class 1 railroads that I'm aware of actually pull a train up a 4.5%. I think steepest that they do generally is under 3%. So, like, this is really, but this grade is a good test of the models to see the true power that some of them brag. And it's funny, it'll generally pull or push these cars up to 4% grade. But I think it's even going to have a stall out here. And we do. So we're going to have to help it a little bit. I thought about hooking a -9 unit on this train, or an AC 4400, but I chose not to do that for this reasoning here, because I want to see the true power of the Centennial unit. And honestly, the Centennial, being the horsepower and everything, tractive effort, has more horsepower, it has more tractive effort than the big boy. Of course, there is a difference here. The big boy has a different power curve than the Centennial unit at higher speeds. From what I understand, if I remember right, looking at steam engine books, the steam locomotive has a better tractive effort at higher speeds, where the diesel begins to lose it. So it's not exactly a fair competition there in that perspective, but still, with the power that these things exert, you'd think, oh crap. Well, that's not good. I'm not really sure what caused that, but just gotta dig through it. Oh, it's gonna stay here. Guess it's my own fault, some degree, pushing on that train, but alright. Now we'll get this thing to backing up. Alright. Yep. Speed does not always equal a good thing. Alright. That should be enough to do the trick. I'll get her wound up. So this works out. Alright, here she begins to climb if everything holds out. Seems like she's already dragging a little. She's moving at speed. Wow. Let's see, she quickly begins to pull. Oh, yep, she stalled. Alright, so even at speed, unfortunately, there it is. Alright, well, guess we're gonna have to help this engine. If it just had more weight, it would certainly pull this train up over this hill. But unfortunately, it does not. And because of my stupidness here, I derailed the train. Well, maybe it would have derailed without me handling it, I don't know, but I'll help guide it along, get it moving. At what point it's definitely a long ways to being through the switch. That's for sure. Or through the grade. And it still can't get it up over the hill. Just amazes me that, like, we're not even half, I guess. We're nearly half, and it still is. Still is. And it's pretty much up over that I would think it'd be able to pull, and it's stalling. I mean, I'm sorry, Athearn, but when it comes to power, your DD40AX just doesn't cut it. And yes, it did beat that FEF unit as far as going over that hill. I'm really amazed, but it won't pull these 50. It has the 25 cars just fine, but it won't pull the 50 of them. It should at least do the 50. I mean, the big boy will do that and then some. We seem to have some cars off the track here somewhere. Yep, we found our culprit right here. This 21 cars has some trouble. I don't know, it's the wheel. Maybe it's just wrong placement within the train. Who knows? So we're gonna have to send some power to get this train moving. I mean, it more than takes up the yard of this smaller yard. It's just the yard won't even hold it. Guess you could say that's the true size of my 50 car train. I did bring some -9 units just for this purpose because I knew it'd probably stall out. And I know for a fact that the big boy will not, or the superpower big blow will not either. It will make it. But that Centennial just lacks the power. So we'll put this thing on the track and I'll help it get back into the yard so the big boy can hook on. And that will Put this engine. Alright, we're set to roll on that part. But first we need we'll need alright. Switches are thrown. Here we go to see if we can man this train with an engine on the rear. I don't know how well that's going to work, but might be some dead spots in the track, so it might cause some problems. I don't know. Guess we'll just have to see how this works out. Usually do this with 2 operators and call it out, but I'm going to try to do it single-handedly, run it by myself. Oh yeah, you can hear it barely. Uh-oh. We had a signal issue. I forgot that Don warned me that once you get past that Pillsbury plant, that you pretty much lose signal with your controller. And so, wow. Well, that did not work out as I would have suspected. Alright. See if we can get this thing up to speed. Alright, we're going to leave that there and pray this works, because if it don't, the switches are thrown. Switches are thrown. Of course, it's on the outer track, so it should not be an issue here. Well, I guess I better make sure That's thrown. Alright, we're gonna have to outrun this train. Guess we could duck down, but don't feel like doing it today. Ooh. What the heck? Huh. Alright, wow. Huh. Well, that's not good. We're running this engine because we got two engines, so we're running them at a crawl so that hopefully I don't derail one or the other in the process of. We got them both at 0 now. Now we need to line everything. Okay, now we'll see if this works out. I'll give her throttle. Both deals here, and we should be okay. Hopefully all goes well. Keep them pretty matched, but with a little bit of tension between them. Alright, here we come. Bell. Oops. Gotta be in the right function. I don't know if I've got that sequence down. I guess I should study that. Uh-oh. Hopefully we didn't have any derailments. Alright, we're all set there except for there. Alright, we'll see how this works out. Oh yeah, she went in. I should have got that on video. Went into that siding really nice like. I don't know if they'd do that in real life, blow the horn on the last engine there, but did it anyhow. Probably less than prototype, but whatever. Alright, I think we're where we should be. So now, as promised, we're going to cut this off. I'm going to pull that Centennial. Guess I could have done that with the engine, but whatever. I'm going to back that down, and then we're going to kill that engine, and we're going to dispatch it. And now for the big boy. 40, 19, here you come, baby. Okay. Alright. Get her thrown. Reverse. And the other thing we'll have to do is and you want to see something neat. This big boy don't even care. See this? That engine is dead. And that big boy, check this out. The big boy is pulling that engine dead on the track. Talk about power. We'll give her some power. At some point we'll cut that switcher or that extra power on the rear off, because obviously the big boy is not going to need it. I'm going to throw this so we don't hopefully have the same problem we had last time. But it is giving that big boy enough pull. It is struggling around that curve though. At least that engine kind of more or less dead on the rear there. Alright. I should think if I can do this, I'll just back this up. And we'll get this engine out of the way. Oh, crap. All the switches are thrown. Let's see. Okay. Appears the big boy's having its issues with power. Yeah. Tender's on track. Switches have all been thrown. No issues so far. We'll throw it there. Crap. It does not like switches. Broadway really ought to think about redesigning that drawbar. I really think they ought to go back to the original. Just a drawbar that comes out with a pin on the tender. Honestly, to me, seemed to be the best, but I know they try to get that so that it'll work in a way that helps it negotiate curves. But I'm not sure that that system is the best, but whatever. Alright, here we come, ladies and gentlemen. That smoking whistle, man. Really. Oh crap. Almost half my train. Oh, there's why it's stuck there on the magnet, which causes it to decouple. Alright. So far, a little less problematic with derailment seems to be, but we'll see how this goes. Here comes the big boy winding the corner, oh, and she derails. Well, we didn't have that problem with the DD48X, at least not that one. Not sure what causes that problem, but I think those cars are heavy enough that it pulls in a way that puts weight that kind of lifts up on that tender. As those 51 grand total cars is so heavy. Here we go. Now, Athearn, take note, because I can guarantee this engine will go right over that hill. I mean, you saw it drag that AC unit dead on the rear and 50 cars. There's no reason it should not pull that hill and make it. But just due to some power issues, we're going to let this track, when we get down here at the bottom, go straight. We're technically going to be on the wrong side of the track, but better on the wrong side than to get derailed just as we already did. But the good news is I'm not worried. This engine doesn't need speed to get ahead. And we'll pull. I knew it. We got a car off track that's going to cause us a big issue. We got her on track. Check this out, Athearn. Athearn, your engine stalled about right here. The big boy is going. And watch this. You want to check out power, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have this whole train setting around a curve, 4.5% grade, 30-inch radius curves, and watch what happens. The big boy is moving. I mean, you look at them drives. They're not even spinning. Yeah, I did do a little there. Of course, I turned the throttle a little quickly, but in general, look at this. It is pulling this. Now, she's pulling hard now. Now, she is spinning a little on that. You're talking top of this hill. The Centennial stalled out right here. The big boy was stopped right here. And she's climbing this hill, ladies and gentlemen. Now you check that out for power. I don't care what you say, Athearn, but you need a redesign on that locomotive. I can't stress that enough. The big boy is taking 50 cars stopped at the top of the hill and moving. And there is no helper on the rear of this thing. None. It is simply the 50 cars with the caboose of technically 51 cars, and she is going. And you can tell with that smoke that evidently she has had to pull hard to get over that hill. I'm not saying she didn't work at it, or he, the big boy, but it is certainly making this hill with 51 cars single-handedly by itself, no helper, and even stopped at the top of that hill and then restarted. Of course, it did spin, if I'm doing truth here, but I'm just amazed that the big boy went over that hill and didn't have an issue. The Centennial certainly would have had an issue. I mean, there are some places, mind you, that the Centennial did better. I'm not disagreeing. It didn't have the derailments that the big boy had. So, Broadway, maybe you need to take note and need some redesigning on that tender. And maybe some redesigning on this front, truck/drive wheels. But other than that, it is a great design, I feel like. The big boy is more than prototypically powerful. I don't know if even the real big boy would have done that great, but I still feel like that Centennial does not perform like the real thing. And it just needs to be better. That's all there is to it. Like it or don't like it, I really don't care. Facts stand where facts stand. I mean, some people say, well, you don't have tractor tires on that Centennial locomotive. No, that's true, they don't. Would it make that much of a difference? Realistically, I think tractor tires do one thing. It gives you a little more coefficient to the track to get that engine from a standstill up to moving. But if the engine's got the sheer power, the sheer torque of the motor and the weight to get things moving, then it ain't gonna make no difference what you do. Now, see, ladies and gentlemen, the problem here isn't the engine or necessarily even the track. We have a problem with the remote, and I keep forgetting that. I was already warned that you'll lose signal here once you go so far, and that's what happened. I lost signal, therefore my controller died. Then I stepped back into power. It sent signal to send that engine, and when it did that surge, instead of pulling nice and steady, it jerked, and when it did, it derailed the cars. Although, truth be known, I'll probably edit this part out of the video, I don't know, but nonetheless. I'm just amazed at how well that the Broadway Limit Big Boy holds up. And the fact that Athearn doesn't want to do anything to improve their running quality on their engine. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. First of all, Athearn, no offense, but when you first came out with that, if you'd have built that frame right, then you wouldn't have to redo it. You wouldn't have to spend that money. I feel like you could have done that right the first go around, and you would not have had this issue. It would be pulling that hill. It'd be a competition against the big boy here. But it is not. Now, I don't know about you, but you know, EMD and GE had a competition, or Alco. And Alco lost out. GE stepped in, and I think they became the champions, if I remember right. But then, I think, you know, EMD is now back in, or Progress Rail is back in on top. But I don't know, I think it's a toss-up. But either way, this is kind of like a battle between Athearn and Broadway. And you are slipping, because now after seeing the EMD SD40-2 engines, and the fact that the Broadway pulls more, I can tell you how I feel about that. In the future, more of my locomotives will be Broadway and not Athearn. But the next challenge will be who's the better? Is it Scale Trains or Broadway? I mean, I'm about performance. If your engine performs like the real thing, I mean, silent isn't quite as important to me, or the details, the minor handrail misplaced, or the inaccuracy of the length of the engine a whole lot. It is important, don't get me wrong, because the length of that engine will make the difference of the amount of space you have, especially if you shorten it to have the amount of weight to get the prototypical correct horsepower or tractive effort. But you know, when you don't spend the extra money to build an engine, when you had the availability to do so, and your engine doesn't pull like the real thing, makes the difference in whether I buy your engine. Because if I can run two engines that will pull the 50 cars, or I can buy one engine that'll pull the 50 cars, yeah, maybe the one engine will cost a little more, but overall price between the difference of two engines and one engine, and that one engine is still cheaper than the two of them combined, then I'm going to be buying that one engine. That's where I'm at. And furthermore, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice by not building an engine that runs more like the prototype. Now, the big boy is pulling this. There's no helper on the back. There's some dirty track spots, and maybe due to some car derailment, maybe shorted the track. I don't know. This car number 21 tends to be problems, I notice. I'll probably have to go check and make sure the wheel gauge and the coupler height and all that's as it should be. Other than that, things seem to be running pretty good. Let's watch and see if this goes through the switch. And check that out, ladies and gentlemen. It hardly looks like it's smoking, but it's smoking. And so far, so good. Alright, I'm gonna cut this. Oh crap. Must be somewhat of a grade to this yard even. Alright. We'll put her right back where we took her from. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. The big boy outdoes the Centennial locomotive. Now in real life that would have never happened. At least I don't think so. But I made my point. The big boy will outpull the Centennial locomotive as far as models. I think that's just pretty damn sad, honestly. Alright, so then we shut off the smoke unit, we shut off the sound, and then we're going to dispatch this engine, and we're going to bring on 3030. And now we're going to bring number 8, which is the hustler, number 3, which is the turbine, and we are set other than throwing the switches. Let's see here. Alright, we got that. So here we go forward. I'll throw this switch and then runner. Let's see how this thing does. I have no idea whether this will pull the hill or not. I have not done it. I just knew with the big boy because we run a bigger train, and yes, it did have a helper for that. Although you even know that because the video's in my lineup of videos on my YouTube channel. Oh boy. So we hit that magnet spot again. And truth, we might have hit it back there even, I don't know. So we'll just have to pay attention. So here we go for speed. Just the one, we're running out of time. Hour. We gotta get moving. This might be a disaster waiting to happen, but here we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say I don't know what what that should or shouldn't be as far as the class lights. So don't come with comments and knocking me over the head for that, because I have no clue whether or not that's the prototype, the way that should be set up. And yes, I forgot to got to run the bell and the horn. Well, we're not really about all of that. We're trying to do testing of how much effective effort and horsepower we got to pull that 5% grade. I don't really think I need to run this train this speed, but we're going to run at this speed anyhow, just because I can. Maybe not the smartest thing to do. The only thing I can say about this is this thing seems to glide across the track compared to that big boy. I don't know. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go straight away instead of switching on the right hand rule that we're supposed to be, but ooh, this is not a good deal. Whoa. Holy cow. Well, guess that's what you get for running too fast, as they say. Well, that's a shame. I guess should have done it a little more careful, because the big boy, we didn't have this setback that I recall. But we had to review the video. Maybe we did have seems like we had a derailment too, but this is what you get when you run a super long train up an unrealistic 4.5% grade. Plus, the track does need some work here, that's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to put this down for a bit, because I cannot do this one-handed. Alright. We are set and rolling. Or ready to roll, should I say. Let's get this baby back to rolling. Of course, we're at the bottom of a hill. I don't know if there's any other cars through. Yep, this car has always been problematic. I don't know why, but now here comes the gas turbine, the GTEL or GTEL 8500 road number 30 going up this hill. Now watch this trick. Let's see if it can do what the big boy can do. About it can. Alright, here we are. We're fully stopped. We got half or over most of the train still even, quarter of the train at the bottom of the hill. isn't having as easy as time as the big boy, I don't think, but maybe I didn't give it a chance to get started. I don't know. It just seemed like I had to really turn up the throttle to get her moving. And she is barely climbing. She is moving, though. Let me tell you, she's moving. I've only got about 39% power, though, so not sure where that falls. And she's picking up speed now, so I'd say maybe not quite as good as the big boy, but it does hold its own. It can stop at the top of the hill and restart. And all the wheels are on the track, so that I can see of, although maybe that's the reasoning. We've got a few engine wheels off the track, so maybe that's why it had trouble. I feel like this thing ought to pull just like the big boy in a sense of the matter. I mean, they say it can pull 155 cars, which is what that model, that big boy, can pull, so yep, see, it's off there. I don't know if it had that deal. I guess I should back it up and find out, but I'm not going to for lack of time. And to be honest, it's an awful lot of work setting up 51 cars plus the 3 locomotives and the DPU unit, as they say. So, oh crap, yeah, that was not good. We had a major derailment for some reason. Don't know what caused that, but once again, you see car number 21. That is one of my problematic cars, so I'll have to find out what's going on there. Alright. I'm just amazed that this thing was able to do just like the big boy, pretty much. Pull that train and dead stop over that hill. So, I just think that's pretty wicked when you think about it. Now the track does have some track issues, I guess. Maybe it needs some cleaning, I'm not real sure. Try to move her a little slower because I don't want it to jerk on these cars and cause another derailment. Just going to end this video once we get this train back to the yard that we started in, and then it's over. But realistically, this video is over at once it climbed the hill. I mean, you can make discussions, think about comments, thoughts of your own on my video and the performance of these 3 engines. So we had the Athearn Genesis EMD-DD-A40X or Centennial locomotive, however you want to classify it. Then we had the Broadway Limit Big Boy, 4019's road number, and the Centennial was 6900. So that's the latest run of the Athearn Centennials. It is not, however, the latest run of the Broadway Limit. Is the second latest, and now you might even say the third latest with their next set of engines are coming out. So there is that to be said. And then this here is the Scale Train Superpower Big Blow. No, I do not know which series this is. This might actually be one of the first set of, yeah, I do believe it is their very first run of engines that they came out with. They're in, what, 2018, 2019, somewhere along in there. But, however you want to look at it, here we go. But that is your 3 engines. So you have 3 different manufacturers, also for 3 different types of engine. You have a diesel electric, you have a steam. Steam obviously came before the diesel electric. Then you have the gas turbine, and it's the 3rd series of the Union Pacific gas turbine engines, at least in the order that they built them. So, you know, you see it however you want to see it, but that's the set of locomotives I've got here. And I think the big boy did probably the best of pulling that hill all in all, but I don't think the Superpower Big Blow here, or the GTEL 8500 road number 30 here, did a bad job of pulling it either. It did a fantastic job. I do believe that maybe some of the wheels were off, so maybe that's the reason that it was having some trouble. But all in all, I feel like, other than some of the derailment problems that we've had, all in all, pretty good run. Of course, when you got this many cars on track, and you know, I guess just shows you that the track work maybe needs to be redone on this layout a little bit. But I feel like, all in all, I've had a better run with the FEF and the Centennial unit when I run them, less derailments. But it's also true that I took them a little more cautiously in their movement. We started out of the yard a little slower. We run a little slower, other than the Centennial unit, I think, because I thought I needed speed to get us up over that hill. When it turns out it did a fantastic job. It even picked up speed, which the FEF unit had a heck of a time climbing that hill. So anyhow, thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Also, please leave me a comment for that helps with the what do they call that? The matrix, or the getting, you know, my channel out there, or my videos out there. Also, if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see. Now, I know some people made some suggestions about running the steam turbine to Pennsylvania, or repainting, but one person wanted me to run at dark. I don't have a way to turn off the lights without turning off the power. Maybe there's a way that I could do that. I'm sure the light switched over there, but I don't know if it turns out there's some emergency lights that come on, so I'm not sure if we would get a dark. There are some lights on the layout, so that would be enough to see. So I'm really, with the derailment and track issues, I think that would be a disaster for me to try to run a train. So, you know, no offense, I'm not going to honor that wish at this time. That doesn't mean later at a time that I might take that person's comment about running in the dark and run in the dark for you, but it'll be at a later time if I do. So I do want to say, for all my viewers that have watched my channel and enjoyed to subscribe to my channel, thank you. For all those that have made a comment to my channel, thank you. And I do have 116 subscribers now. I hope that we can get many, many more than that. I did discuss about, maybe doing a special issue, but unfortunately, when I've, said some stuff in the video, nobody suggested what I should do for such a video, or what you'd like to see, or what you would consider that would be, honoring that I'm over the 100 subscriber hump or achievement. I know my girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend, wanted me to do that, but she is no longer in my life. She chose to leave me. We're really not going to make any comments about her or, say anything. It is what it is. And I'm just going to say that I do say this, and I really mean this. I hope that she achieves her bachelor degree in nursing or whatever medical that she's going to, and I think she said she wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I hope that her dreams come true, and I hope that she's successful in her life goals and all as well, even though she's the one that, as they say, dumped me or left me. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. It is over, and, moving on with my life. So anyhow, thank you. Take care. Wishing you all the best of luck, and thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.